Martha's Vineyard Community Television, also known as MVTV. I'd also like to inform everyone that Sean Driscoll, the authority's communications director, is making audio and video recording of today's meeting. If anyone else is making an audio recording of today's meeting, please identify yourself by pressing the raise your hand icon, or if you're joining by phone, press star 9, on your keypad. And when you're recognized, please state your name for the records. Thank you. Sean, do you check that?
Yeah. Mr. Salzberg?
Rich Salzberg, Martha's Vineyard Times.
Thank you.
Noah Asimov, Vineyard Gazette.
Thank you. That's all I see.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a statement regarding remote participation. In response to the Governor Baker's executive orders concerning the necessity to conduct public meetings in line with social distancing guidelines during the current state of emergency involving the COVID-19 pandemic, all board members are participating remotely in today's meeting because their physical attendance today would be unreasonably difficult. All board members are participating in the meeting via the Zoom video conferencing app, and all board members will be clearly audible to each other. As a result of the members' remote participation in this meeting, any and all votes taken by the members today shall be by roll call vote. So thank you all very much. And if you look on our agenda, the first thing we'd like to do is to entertain a motion to enter into executive session. The reason that we'd be entering into executive session is for the agenda, which has two parts. One is litigation, potential for litigation with Senesco Marine LLC regarding contract number 02-2020, overhaul and dry dock of the MV Katama. Number two, collective bargaining matters, anticipated negotiations with the unions, Teamsters Union 59, SEIU Local 888, and MEBA, of all the authorities' non-represented employees regarding potential continuation of health insurance benefits for furloughed employees due to the COVID-19 virus pandemic. With that on the agenda, do I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
And we have a second. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, this will come to a vote. It needs to be by roll call, please.
Wilson, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Jones, aye.
Franny, aye.
Malkin, aye. And we'll be going into executive session, and it will be via audio only. And I believe all the members have the audio number to dial into. So at this, Sean, you want to explain what people should do from here?
Yes, please. So for everybody who's attending, we'll keep the Zoom running, and then we will resume the video portion when we get back. So you can hang on the line, and then we'll be back on the Zoom when we're back in public session.
And Sean, should all of the members and people who will join the executive session turn off the Zoom?
You can do it either way. I'm going to mute all the lines and disable the video. Okay. So you don't have to, but if you prefer to, that's fine. But I'm going to mute and disable video from my side as well.
All right. Well, that'll be fine.
On this line, or we have to call into something different?
I sent you the conference line number.
So call into that on just on your regular phone.
All right. You're going to have to give it to me again.
Bob will text it to you.
Thanks.
Moira, you must be back. Different background.
Huh?
I said you must have come home. You must have come home.
I'm
It's
home.
a different room.
I'm home.
Welcome home.
All right, we'll see you
It's a
upstairs.
long way home. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
What do we do without 17 different forms of technology?
You have any kind of feeling how long this is gonna go?
I stopped making predictions about that.
Say when, Sean.
Well, everybody's here. Bob Jones, are you? You need to restart your video. Oh, here, let me try that again. Almost there.
Bob, when do you want to handle the executive session results? Further down the list, or you want to do that right away?
We can do it under procurement.
Okay, well, when we get there, fine.
Bob Jones, are you with us? Your video's not on. His audio is on. Do I call him real quick?
Oh, he's on.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, shall we proceed?
Yes.
All right. The first item that we have today in this open session, welcome back to the open session. Do we need to remind everyone about recording and so on and so forth?
Yes, it would be advisable.
Okay. Hang on, I got to get to the right book. So we're going to do all of those chairman announcements again? Okay.
Just a recording announcement is fine.
All right. Thank you. I'd like to re-inform everyone that Steve Batty of All Media Productions making video and audio recording of today's meeting and public session for MVCT,
I can't
also
hear
known as
anything.
MVTV. I'd also like to inform everyone that Sean Driscoll, the authority's communications director, is making an audio and video recording of today's meeting. Is there anyone else making an audio recording of today's meeting? If so, please identify yourself by pressing the raise your hand icon, or if you're joining by phone, pressing *9 on your keypad. And when you're recognized, please state your name for the record, and thank you.
Rich,
Hi, Salzburg, Martha's Vineyard Times.
thank you. Hello,
Noah Asmo, Vineyard Gazette.
thank you. I check to make sure I'm working here. She said she was having trouble.
Is that it?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so. All the board members can hear us, correct?
Yep.
I
Malcolm.
can't hear, you seem to be muted.
Maura's muted as well.
Okay, hang on. Oh, that's all.
Looks like Moira on her end.
Hey, can
It
you
was
hear?
it was a host problem. I think now things are good now.
Or can you hear us?
Hello?
No, can't hear Moira.
Yeah,
Okay.
hold on. No, can't hear you. It looks like your microphone is muted.
Okay,
There you
try
go.
now.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Now I get you.
Can you hear us?
No, I can't hear anything from you guys.
No.
So we can hear you. Hello?
Is your volume up, Maura? Is it a speaker issue on your side? You can hear something.
Can you hear through the cell phone?
What's up? Can you guys talk? Can someone talk just so I can check?
Yeah, can you
Hello,
hear us
hello,
now?
Hello.
No.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hi.
Are you hearing through my cell phone?
I'm hearing through the cell phone, that's it.
Want me to call you on the, I'll call you on the conference line and put it next to the speaker here.
Mr. Jones has his hand up. Bob? We can't hear you. We can't hear Bob Jones.
Hold on. Okay.
Hi.
No, so.
No, so.
Huh, Yeesh.
Yeah.
How
Hold
about,
on, we're getting
Bob
feedback.
Jones?
Can you hear us, Maura?
Bob,
Yeah.
okay, so we can hear you. Can the members hear Maura now?
Yes, but how about Bob Jones? I can't hear him at
That's
all.
what, yeah, next, Mr. Jones, can you hear us? No, yes?
We can't hear you, right? I don't know why.
Hello?
Here, Bob, can you hear me? I can.
Yeah, I think he's I think he unmuted you, but hold on one second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it says unmuted.
can you just speak to see?
I'm not unmuted, so that might help.
Yeah,
Yeah, I muted you because we were getting feedback from your
Yeah.
phone.
yeah, we're getting feedback from between the Zoom audio from you was working, and then with the speakerphone there was feedback, so that's why Sean muted you more.
Maybe Bob Jones should sign out.
It's gotta be a better way.
So Mr. Jones, I don't know whether you can, if you can you hear us? Yes, no?
He's muted.
He's not, I don't know why he's,
You might have to leave and come back.
yeah, but maybe you should leave and come back in.
It's saying that you're not allowed.
I have.
Okay,
muted.
can you log off and log back in?
Who were you talking to, me?
No, to Bob Jones.
Do you want me just to put you on the speakerphone as well? Yeah, but we did mute Maura, but we had not muted you.
Yeah, so I should be able to hear.
Originally that was the case, but then Sean has unmuted it, so hold on one second.
Yeah, he should be unmuted. Should be close on the insurance.
Whether we do it by phone or whether you try to
Sign out. And
sign out and sign back in. Yep. It's either that or I call you on this conference line.
There's nothing I can do on my end.
I think Sean's done what he can. We know how to get multiple people.
We've never been able to do it without.
Okay, Bob, can you hear? Hold on.
I want to apologize to everybody who's waiting for this. It's
He just has
difficult.
Great.
I am muting it. It's not working. He needs to sign off.
Yeah. So Bob, Sean's been trying to mute you and unmute you, but it won't. It's not doing anything. So,
Let me try one other.
hold on.
Over to attendee and then.
Now can you? Oh no, wait. You're still muted. Hold on.
Can he unmute himself? For some reason, it's not letting me do it on the side. Well, can he try the speakerphone?
Bob, can you unmute yourself now? Bottom left.
One more time.
You still seem to be muted.
The speakerphone, right? You have to turn off his.
If you can, on the bottom left of the screen, if you can hit the microphone to unmute yourself. Yeah, but Sean just did something, so if you could try it again. It's still coming up with the same message. Still coming up with the same message.
Yeah, I mean, I'm clicking unmute all. He's not unmuting, so I don't know why.
If he signs out and signs back in, it should work.
Yeah, he has to sign out and sign back in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sign out, Bob, and come back in. Just leave on the bottom right, it'll say leave or end. And come back in.
I'm gonna try and do that.
Okay,
Okay.
try that as well, Laura. We'll see if it works. God, I miss people.
You know, another 8 or 12 months of this, we'll finally figure it out.
I've never missed all of you in one room so much as I do at this exact moment.
You say the nicest things.
I know. Technology makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Bob, can you hear us? Bob Jones.
And I'm in.
You're in.
Good job,
All right, let's see how this goes from Maura.
I love technology. It's wonderful. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning because of technology, because my computer had decided that it was time to reset my password,
Attendees.
and I didn't know it till the evening.
I thought she popped up.
Well, you gotta keep a sense of humor, I guess.
Well, we've had a good
No,
run.
it is.
We're due.
Just waiting for Maura to come back in.
Go ahead.
It is muted.
I can hear you on your phone, Bob.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
She's still on the speakerphone. She'll continue to try, I guess.
All right, we can get going.
All right, in that case, we come to the approval of the minutes of the Woods Hole, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket Steamship Authority meeting in public session on the 5th of May. We've been sent the minutes for review. Does any of the members have any questions, comments, or modifications of the minutes as presented?
No comments.
No edits, deletions, modifications? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
No move.
So moved. Second.
We have a move and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, comes to a roll call vote to accept the minutes of the May 5th meeting. May I
Wilson,
have a
aye.
vote, please?
Randy, aye. Jones, aye.
Malkin, aye.
Tierney, aye.
And Tierney, aye. Okay, the minutes have been approved. Thank you very much, everyone. Port Council report. June 3rd meeting.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Ed.
How are you? So we had our port council meeting on June 3rd. We went over the business summary for April, which obviously that was a hard month in terms of revenue. But it was good to have the information so that we can kind of move forward. There were questions that came out of the business summary that were related to our cash position, which it looks like we're in a better place than we were a few months ago. But we did ask the question on whether or not our cash position.
You get me off now.
Okay.
All right.
So there was a question on whether or not our cash position was good enough to get us through the summer. and it looks like the answer from Bob looked to be pretty good. We went over the budget policy statement. One thing that did come up in our discussion was, given the level of uncertainty, which we're getting more clarity on, and certainly through the months of the summer, we will get even more clarity in terms of revenue and passengers. But one thing we sort of offered up to the staff was, it's going to make sense to really go over and get comfortable with what we're seeing this summer. So if they needed a little bit more time to go through the numbers, and we delay the schedule for the budget process, that would be something that I think the Port Council would be amenable to, just given the level of uncertainty and trying to guess 12 months out on a budget. It can sometimes you want to understand the data a little bit better. So that was one thing that was discussed. We voted to endorse the Plymouth and Brockton proposal, pending any concerns from staff. And I think their proposal was for a Logan service and a TF Green service. And then another thing that came up in the budget process was having a subcommittee that looks at the enabling legislation. That I think we've talked about this in both the Port Council meetings, and you all have talked about it as well. What should we be focused on to amend or change the enabling legislation so that we can be a little bit more nimble, and hopefully get larger cash reserves that will help us smooth out things like pandemics. So happy to answer any questions about any of that or anything else.
Any of the members have anything they want to talk to Ed about or follow up on?
Was there, I
Thank you,
do.
Ed. Go.
So the question about the bus line, one of the outstanding questions we had was, how does it fit in with the other bus line we have? And was there any discussion other than in concept, it sounds like a good idea?
Yeah, I think so. All of our comments were based on the concept. The concept, in particular, of having a TF Green service
Sure.
makes a lot of sense to us. I think we voted on it, and one of the reasons we had sort of the caveat of staff concerns is because there may be other things that we didn't take into consideration when we voted on it. So it's mostly the concept. I think we understand that there may be other agreements or other things that that need to be taken into account. So we allowed for that.
Thanks.
Sure.
Anyone else? Port Council discussion? Okay. Mr. Davis, you're up.
All right. Yep. All right, so next item, we have an update on what's been going on here with COVID. So since the beginning of the pandemic, one of the measures that we have been taking has been to adjust our schedules based on what travel demands we're seeing. Initially, this resulted in fewer than 45% of the originally scheduled trips being operated during those March, April time period. The current schedule, which runs through the end of today, has service levels at approximately 70% of what was originally scheduled for this year to be operated. Beginning tomorrow, June 17th, the service levels will be increased, so it's running approximately 90 to 95% of what this was originally scheduled for the season. For the first 2 weeks of June, passenger traffic is approximately 48% of what we would anticipate. Our automobile traffic is about 78% of what we'd anticipate, and our trucks are about 85% of what we anticipate. So I think the service levels, we're trying to make sure that we're providing enough service for the vehicles and passengers, but not excessive service. Our vessel crews continue to do an exceptional job in cleaning the vessel interiors in between trips and even during trips, paying attention to the surfaces and touch points. We continue to assign crews at night to go in and do a deeper cleaning of our vessels. Our terminal employees likewise have been doing an exceptional job of cleaning and keeping up on it. Our buses as well, those are cleaned on a frequent basis during the course of a day. But some of the other actions that we've taken, so for instance, on our buses, the capacities on our buses currently has been reduced to approximately to 50% of what they're rated for in terms of capacity. With the return of the MV INO tomorrow, seating capacity bookings is being reduced to 50% of what the seating capacity is on that vessel. That's while we look at evaluating what social distancing measures we may have to take in addition to that. But to begin with, we're starting off at a 50% capacity on the MV INO. We continue our efforts to source hand sanitizer for the pop-up wipe stands as well as for our dispensers, although that's been harder and harder to come by. Our cleaning materials, however, have been easier to source. We continue our efforts to expedite orders for the orders that we have in for electrostatic sprayers that we'll be using as an additional sanitizing tool. We continue to have signage up on board our vessels, our buses, and at the terminals. On the Nantucket route, we still have suspended driver services. We are looking at trying to roll out driver services, however, for the commercial traffic. That will help to be more flexible in terms of being able to adjust some of the traffic level, the vehicle loads on the Nantucket route, particularly in light of that we have the Sankaty running the schedule that was originally intended for the MV Woods Hole. We continue on a regular basis to be putting information out on best practices regarding health measures on our internal learning management systems for our employees, and I'm pleased that the continued review of that material by our employees as those are added. For the vessel crews, at the beginning of each watch, they're given a wellness screening by a trained medical professional. Shoreside personnel, including parking lots, maintenance facilities, the administrative offices, reservation offices, given a wellness questionnaire that they need to complete and provide to their supervisor. And at that point, they're given clearance to report to work, or they're sent home. And most importantly, we continue to tell our employees that under no circumstance should they be coming into work if they feel sick, not only for their own safety, but for the safety of our crew members, as well as the safety of our passengers. And if any of them do come into work, we have sent them home. We still have the dedicated landing page on our website for our coronavirus updates at steamshipauthority.com/2019 coronavirus. We ask our customers to continue to check there, as well as our Facebook and Twitter pages, our e-news, and local media outlets for any new developments that come along. There are some additional measures that we need to be considering. Again, the biggest one is the schedule modifications. We continue to monitor the traffic patterns and what bookings we have. So as part of any consideration, we look at that to determine what we need. We look at vehicle reservations and the commodities being transported, passenger accessibility, the ability to social distance, as well as for emergency services. So at this time, the schedule, which starts tomorrow, is extended out to July 1st. On the Vineyard route, we'll have the MB Woods Hole, the Martha's Vineyard, the Island Home, and the Nantucket on the Vineyard route. While on the Nantucket route, we'll have the Eagle, the Gayhead, Sankaty, and the MB Ino. At this time, based on what advanced bookings we have, we anticipate that once this operating schedule is in place, that we'd be continuing to run that level of service for the remainder of the summer, although we'll continue to monitor that to see whether it needs to be, if there's any modifications that are warranted. I think Mark has provided some information regarding our advanced reservations, and I'd ask him to step up to the microphone here, and we can show give a forecast here.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hold on one sec.
So the chart that's on the screen now is showing the reservation activity for the future, comparing June 7th to June 14th. Basically, we're down about 10,000 reservations in June, approximately 12,000 in July, about 11,000 in August, 2,000 in September, and October is virtually flat. Yes.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Mark?
Yes.
Given what's happened in June on a week-to-week growth, back on that chart that you just had.
Yes.
And then a corresponding week-to-week growth for July. Does that give you any sense that as the new governor's phases and stages come in, we're starting to see a response in traffic on a short-term basis? That week-to-week in June is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would say so, and that's kind of illustrated on charts 4 and 5, where in June, not to jump the gun, we saw we were on, last week we're at 67% of the year before, and this week 74% compared to the year before. So we saw a jump in June. So it looks like more shorter term traffic is increasing, there's more certainty, especially with the governor's order from, I believe, it was the 9th when we opened. So I would agree with you on those statements, yes.
Thank you.
And then this chart illustrates that trend as well. In the key numbers looking here is the passengers are increasing. We've broken over 40% compared to the year before in June. And looking at the car traffic approaching the 80 percentile mark. These are the credit card receipt figures reported on a daily basis, and showing that for the last week or so, we're over where we were last year. And a lot of this is we just talked about the short-term reservations catch up from where we were before.
I'll also point out that we think part of this may be reflective of a trend to people using more of their cards as opposed to cash transactions. So.
Definitely.
It's much very encouraging compared to where we were in April.
Yeah.
And this is the fourth slide we just mentioned, and it shows that from in the last week, we picked up about 7 percentage points compared to the year before for the month of June, picked up 2 percentage points in July. August is looks like it's plateauing, the same thing with September, and with October as well. And this is the net vehicle reservation activity compared using a 7-day average compared to the year before. So since June 4th or so, we've been having more adding more vehicles into the reservation mix than we did the year before at the same time period. And again, I think it's a lot of it's the shorter term reservations with more certainty playing the catch up.
And if you recall that first chart that was shown, I think we're so far off there in the month of June with the reservation activities. I think, that this uptick here is, reflective of the June activity. Now, whether it's because of the extension of the island excursion fairs or not, we'll check when we get those final results.
And then real quickly, we're just in the process of closing out the May numbers.
Are you done with these?
Yes. And the preliminary numbers for the revenue on the passenger cars looks like we're going to be down about 41% compared to budget for the month of May, 31% roughly for the freight revenue for the month of May, and passenger revenue will be off about 71% for the month of May.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Mark, does reservation activity mean include people creating, changing, canceling? Is it all activity relating to reservations?
No, those are new reservations.
Okay.
So if I change from June 1st to June 2nd, that would not be counted on
Okay.
that.
Gotcha. And Bob, I have a question for you with the your COVID report. Are there any employees who are asking for medical tests that don't get them?
Yeah,
I know that not all of our employee groups do. So is everybody happy with that, the employees?
Yeah, so there's been some a couple of circumstances with employees that want to get tests. We've worked with the local public health agencies to try to get them tested if they feel the need for it. We have been approached by the group on the vineyard as part of the discussions with the public health people in terms of any of our employees that need to get tested to be able to go to that drive-through center to be tested if they so desire. So we'll continue to work with them on that and making sure that our employees, we've provided on the LMS, we've provided our employees with a list of the sites in which they can go get tested if they so feel the need to do so.
Okay. And are they charged for that?
No, they're not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, while it's encouraging to see some of those upward trends on some of those charts that Mark prepared, I do want to just point out that 50 to 55% of our operating revenues are generated between beginning of June and the end of September. So, as we move along here in these months, we'll have a clearer understanding as to where we're standing. So. We have had continued discussions with MassDOT as well as the Commonwealth's Executive Office of Administration and Finance regarding our financial condition. I would still classify those as being productive discussions. However, since the immediate need for cash has been mitigated because of the CARES Act funds, we're kind of in a monitoring stage at this point. We are working with bond counsel as well as our auditors to come up with some documents for administration and finance, so that way when and if the need arises that we'll have those already in place should there be a deficit.
Do we have projections on how that impacts the deficit that we anticipate at the end of the year? In other words, for the towns?
Yeah, so we've looked at it, and again, I mean, earlier back in April, when traffic was, so minuscule. If you projected that out over a course of the year at those levels, we were talking about a $60 million, projection in terms of a loss. I think we continue to look at it. We update as we go along. If we start getting to a 75% level across the board, what does that do? If trucks are higher, passenger vehicles are higher, what does that do for those projections? I think in terms of it, we are with the April results were farther in the hole than where we anticipated we would be. I'll have that up in a minute. And then the May projections, where we normally would be projecting about a $2.3 million surplus for the month of May. I think we're pegging, I'd be pegging it now at about a $3 million deficit for the month of May. So we'll see as we go along how this works out.
Okay.
Following up on that, Bob, may I ask, has there been discussion with the state regarding assessment versus appropriation?
There's been discussions regarding that. So part of this is going to be that if it's if and when the deficit is recognized, if it's an appropriation, there is the discussions have been about no need to have to do an assessment to the communities. If it's something that they have to borrow the money for, then it does become an assessment. So we obviously are pushing for the appropriation method means for this, but we continue to try to talk to pursue other funding sources on a federal level as well to try to address address our needs going forward.
Thank you.
So if there's no more questions regarding that, quick update on the results of business for April. Seems like ages ago, but quick update. So to relive it, passengers for the month were down 83.8% versus a year ago, or just under 160,000 passengers. Our automobile traffic was down 76.6%, or just under 25,000 automobiles. Trucks were down 57.8%, or just over 10,000 trucks. The number of cars parked for both routes for April were down 92.1% for the month. So, for the first 4 months of the year, we're down 35% in passengers, over 190,000 passengers. We're down almost 31% on automobiles, which is about 32,000 automobiles. We're down 22% on trucks, or 13,000 units on the trucks. And our cars parked is 44% behind where we would expect it to be. So those traffic numbers in April obviously were not great. The net operating loss for the month of April ended up being $5,485,000, or some $3,980,000 more than what we had anticipated in the operating budget. Our operating revenues and other income was $2,603,000, or $5,662,000 lower than what we had anticipated. Our operating expenses and other expenses were $8,088,000, or some $1,682,000 lower than what we had budgeted. Some of this is a timing issue with some of the maintenance items. So for instance, if you recall back in April, we curtailed some of our maintenance efforts in Fairhaven to preserve cash. So we had expenses, for instance, of the repairs to the MV Governor being down almost $190,000 in the month of April, which is going to turn out to be in some part a timing issue because we are doing those repairs right now. the bright side, there were some expenses we don't anticipate going forward. Our vessel fuel expense, because of the cost of fuel dropping down to $1.53 a gallon versus the budgeted $2.22 a gallon, ended up being $449,000 less than what we had budgeted. In part because we ran only 770 trips for the month of April, and that's a decrease of over 1,100 trips versus what was budgeted. So year to date, as of the end of April, our net operating loss is $21,913,000, was some $5,567,000 higher than what we had anticipated. So put that in perspective, our budget, the 2020 operating budget had projected a $7 million surplus. So we, by and large, have used that all up here at the end of April. Other operating revenues and other income is down by $6,539,000, while our operating expenses and fixed charges of $37,419,000 were $972,000 lower than what we had anticipated. With that, if anyone has any questions regarding the April business summary, be happy to answer. Mark would be happy to answer.
Ouch.
My thoughts exactly. Not hearing any. We'll move on to updates on current projects. First off, we have a quick update on the Woods Hole reconstruction project, and we have a slideshow for you, and we'll put Bill on the hot seat and turn off his microphone.
Good morning, everybody.
Hold on a sec.
Can you all see the slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Affirmative.
So just before we get into the slides, just a quick update where we are today. We're hoping to be operational by July 1st. We're really doing the finishing work at this point on a lot of items, but by and large, the slip should be open next week. We're trying to get rid of the barge, so we'll have the slip open next week to try the ferries, test the ferries in it. So things are moving along quite well. This first slide you're seeing, the aluminum bridge is the bridge that goes from the passenger pier to the floating pier. It's sitting on top of the transfer bridge because we had no space for it at the time while we're trying to do the finished grading. Next slide. This is at the end of at last month's meeting, we finished, or the June 3rd meeting, we had completed the canopy. It's complete, it's operational, and this is the asphalt base used for the pavers that are being installed as we speak. Next slide. This is a slide that you can see where they have a little cutting station set up to cut the pavers where they need to be cut. And that's about all there is on that slide. This slide is a mistake. It's just a picture of a conduit and a record for a record. But next one, John. Here you can see they're getting ready to set up the install the pavers. United Stone is doing that. Most of this whole deck at this point is complete. What is left to be done is the ramp going to this deck. Next slide, Sean. You
Bill,
can see
could I ask a question?
Sure.
Are those pavers just set in there dry?
No, they're kind of glued with an asphalt mastic, Bob. So there's that base that you can walk on, then there's a softer piece, and then there's another layer of mastic that fixes them solid. They're very tight, and they're not going to move.
It's good looking work.
It is. The color's good. We're still trying to. There seems to be a film on the surface that we're trying to get off, because when they get wet, the color really pops. But there's like a film. I don't know what kind of film it is. We're trying to get that off. Next slide. This is the other end. Setting these pavers. It's actually 3 different colors. It's 3 different shades of blue. Next slide. This is a view of the slip. At this point, all the fenders are on, and we're getting ready to move that crane out of there. And next slide. This is the land side. That was done last week with the finished grading. It's all been paved at this point, so it's at least with the binder course. So we're getting there. Next. This is a view of the canopy and the I don't know the chart that it's mimicking, nautical chart that it's mimicking. Next slide. And here's a view of the float. It's in place at this point. The bridge that we saw in the first slide is in place as well. So you can walk right out to that thing. There's still some railing work to do and some there's siding going on that frame, that aluminum frame for that deck. That probably won't get done until after the 4th. But we will have access to the passenger pier at the landside pier. I think that's it, right? Sure.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What is the lighting going to be like? Are the lights going to be shielded? Being a boater and also, having dinner or something at the landfall, is you going to have the lights right in your eyes?
No, there's uplighting on that on the canopy that's in place now, and I haven't heard any complaints at this point. And then there's direct downlighting when we're operational from the canopy, from the center of the canopy, and then there's going to be a perimeter small LED lights in the railing that won't be very bright as well either.
So when you say uplighting, you're saying that the whole thing is going to sort of be illuminated?
Yes, it is, and it fades out before it gets to the end of the canopy.
I see.
So that was one that they had turned that on already, and I had our port captain and assistant port captain check with the vessel operator, the captains and the pilots, to make sure that it wasn't there was no issues that they were identifying, and they all reported back that that lighting from their perspective for navigation of the vessels is it was fine. So.
And so it's going to have a big impact on the nighttime waterfront, is what it kind of looks like to me.
So I think as Bill said, there's some uplighting that basically illuminates the glass with the nautical charts on it, but it's a little glow to it. And then there's some direct downlighting that runs right along the center of that pier, so that way we don't have it. We have enough lighting for people to be able to see as they're walking disembarking or in the vessels or embarking. So.
And then what's going to stay on all night long after the last boat?
I think at this point, I believe the uplighting is on a timing. I think it's all on a timer. So probably
So
after.
we'll go off. You're
Yeah.
saying it will go off at night?
And the downlighting for sure will be only used for the trips, you know, when they're loading and unloading passengers.
Thanks.
Now, yeah, Jim?
You're muted.
Okay.
You're muted, Jim. There you go.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Just a follow-up. You mentioned that there was a coating on the tiles that we didn't know about, and we're going to have to see about getting it off. Was that an issue that our engineers or architects put in there that we didn't catch?
It's
I'm
not a
surprised
coating.
that
It's not a coating, Jim. I think it's a film from the manufacturing process that it's a residue that stayed on it. Well, actually today they're trying to power wash it off. It's
okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
So in regards to this project, at this point, we continue to send out weekly updates on the progress that's being made. I think we're up to 105, I think was the last count that I had. Next, we have just a quick update on vessel repairs and dry docks.
Morning, everyone. This is Mark Emerson. Just a quick update. We don't have any vessels in dry dock, although we're preparing the container, hopefully with board approval for the week of 22 June. The Gayhead is presently in Fairhaven undergoing a generator overhaul. We had a failed diode in operation a few weeks back, and upon further inspection, we found some readings that we accelerated a generator overhaul. So she'll be returning to service on the 24th of June. We had an opportunity for the Eagle. We swapped out with the Nantucket, was originally due to come into service tomorrow. We had an opportunity. We had a supply fan down, so it was more efficient to do this repair in Fairhaven. We swapped the vessels out with the Nantucket taking over the service to Nantucket, and we're completing the repair on the fan today, and she'll be both placed into service tomorrow. The INO is returning to service tomorrow, and we are preparing right now for the Governor is in Fairhaven. We're doing Coast Guard inspections now and anticipate her available as a standby vessel over the next 2 weeks upon certification. And that's the update. On any questions on the vessel operations?
Anyone? All right, Mark.
I would like to point out that, you know, as part of this, the motor vessel Nantucket had its, you know, completion of its repair, dry dock and repair period. The crews took the vessel out on company sea trials, and the reports came back that everything functioned as needed, as expected. And then, you know, 2 days later, the Coast Guard came, and pleased to report that there were no deficiencies found when the Coast Guard did their inspection. So there's 0 835s on that vessel. So that's a great thing in terms of the engineering staff that worked on this vessel, along with the senior captain, Mark Nicarao, as well as the senior chief engineer, Richard Whitney. So it's we want that to be the trend going forward. Okay. Next we have Oak Bluffs Pier.
Okay, the repairs are complete, and we will finish. Actually, this finished. The pier is operational now. Everything went on budget. Everything went on time schedule. So we're now, the pier is suitable for passengers and cars and light vehicles.
You want to show that?
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, that was done. Greg Endicott did a great job for on our side, and the contractor performed very well. This picture, I think it was discussed that we had an instance of, this is pile number 2, that we tried driving and we hit under obstructions and just could not get that either side of that. So we did a cement casting around the pier to get its strength back up, and that's a picture of it there. So we're complete, ready for operation now. Any questions at all?
On time and on budget. Terrific.
I assume the people in Oak Bluff are pleased.
People in Oak Bluff.
Yeah,
Go
this
ahead.
service starts tomorrow to that facility, so.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to show the sheet from the transfer bridge as well?
Yeah. We did have one other item. So it was reported at the Port Council meeting, but wanted to make sure we closed the loop here. So we had earlier we had the issue with the transfer bridge in Vineyard Haven. So Mark.
Yeah, this is, as you can see, there's a fracture of the outer race on the bearing. The bearing was, the fracture caused the sheave to not move, and the wire abraded, and that was the cause of the failure.
Mark, is that how long does a bearing like that last? Or is there no telling? Just till fatigue?
Proper lubrication, which this bearing had, looks to me more stress related. Bearing, the movement of the sheave itself is a revolution of movement. So it's a real low number of cycles. This is a stress related. We're still working on the root cause analysis on this. We haven't completed our study.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Not hearing any? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
So next item is the 2021 operating schedules. I just quick update. So the other evening, last week, we had a public hearing on the 11th to hear from our customers, residents alike in terms of the proposed 2021 operating schedule. We held that meeting. It lasted about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. At this point, we'll be gathering information. There has been public comments that's has since been submitted via schedules at steamshipauthority.com. There's approximately 40 comments that have been submitted at this point. We'll be looking at the schedule that we proposed and evaluating that versus the comments that we have received, and be coming back at the July meetings of the Port Council and the board with a recommendation for that here on the hearing.
Can I make a comment about that? I'd like to point out that it was about a year ago, we were talking about the exact same thing. We had a petition, we had a hearing, we had a report, and the upshot was basically, Falmouth, you're going to have to just deal with it. This is the way it is. But as an effort to kind of alleviate and look for creative solutions, we're going to create a task force and a working group. And so the goal was to initiate a dialogue with the vineyard so that we could organize this arrangement a little bit better so that the vineyard's needs could be met and we could reduce some of the strain on Falmouth and the Woods Hole Port. A year has gone by. Falmouth has appointed 2 selectmen. We've got 1 selectman on one board and another selectman on another board, and we still don't have any dialogue on this issue. So I'm wondering, what if we turn this around a little bit and say, let's temporarily suspend the 5:30 vote and continue with this task force and working group and see if we can come up with some solutions that would suit the communities on both sides of this transportation bridge. I think it's, we've been doing this for 8 years this way, and it's getting worse. And people on the vineyard are complaining about the traffic, but our only response is to continue to try and meet those traffic demands and add more cars and more trucks to the mix. And maybe we need to step back a little bit and think, wait a second, if it's getting worse over there and it's already a problem here, what's wrong with this situation? So I'd like our board to give some serious thought to making a commitment to not just continuing business as usual on this set of issues, but let's really think about what we can do to improve the situation and not just keep saying to Falmouth, sorry, but you're just going to have to live with it.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's an interesting idea, Catherine. I listened to the discussion, presentations, positions, opinions expressed in that meeting, as I know you did. I am gathering information in response to questions and queries that were raised. And I think that when we get to our July meeting to discuss the that could be part of our discussion. If that is suitable.
And I would like to point out that I understand, some of the frustrations that, Falmouth, because they acted so quickly to name people to their, to those task force and working group. And then when the island towns addressed those issues, up popped COVID and has delayed that. So delayed those appointments. So I think they intend on taking those up here at upcoming meetings. So
that would be great. I mean, it's certainly the momentum where the 5:30 schedule got re-upped, re-engaged. So the momentum for the vineyard to address this issue was off the table. They didn't need to continue to have this dialogue in an immediate manner. So I think that we really need to keep this going and stop doing business as usual. But let's keep talking about it, please.
all right. So there's no other. I think put Mark back up here at the table.
Hello again. With the permission of the chair, before I talk about the proposed budget policy, I'd like to address on the 2019 audit, if that's okay.
Please do.
Okay, so talking with our firm, RSM, the audit is in what they call partner review, where their team has gone through the process. The partner who oversees our account has gone through it, and they go for peer review to make sure from an independent point of view that everything is correct. The financial statements, we do not expect any changes from where they are right now. And what has changed since we reported these back in February is that we're looking at the operating revenue being adjusted by $250,000 to the positive. We're looking at operating expenses being adjusted upwards by about 500,000, and the majority of that is that pension adjustment we talked about last month with the new mortality table. And at the end of the day, it brings our net operating income, which was previously stated at $289,970 to $41,276. I'm just waiting for the final approved version, but that's where, after all said and done, we should be. And neither the audit firm nor the manager nor I expect any changes at this point.
So the audit firm has everything they need in order to finalize their report?
Yeah, we've, the report, we've been going back, in the past, we're going back and forth. We haven't had any changes over the last couple of weeks, last week or so. They just need a couple documents for the file, but on the conversation yesterday, we do not expect any changes to the numbers.
And then what's the process? Once that report is completed, it lands on your desk, and then what happens?
Okay, then I will file it with the state, file it with Emma, which is with the municipal bonds, and then we'll have an audit review meeting. Am I missing anything, Bob?
So we've already had discussions with, RSM, so they'll be prepared to present the audit to the full board at one of the public meetings to discuss the audit results. Yes,
Jim.
Is there an audit review committee of the board, or is it the whole board reviews the audit results?
Well, in the past, what it's been the current chairman and the previous year's chairman. So that way that from year to year, there's been a continuity in it. But in light of the, the notoriety that this has taken, that we thought it was more appropriate to do a full public audit this review discussion.
Well,
if I could chime in, Jim.
Please.
Yeah. In the past, going way back, that when the auditors, reviewed their audit, and they would ask, pertinent questions of those that were there, and I used to go continually, I should say continue, but as often as I could, when I was a member of the Port Council. And we had members of the Port Council there, and we had members of the board there. And I don't know how it reverted back to the way it is with the past and two chairmen, or the necessity of that, and why we talk about not populating the meeting with the board because of the open meeting laws and things like that. But that's the way it used to be. And we had the open meeting laws back at that point. But I definitely am in favor that it be reviewed by the entire board and not just, one or two representatives. I think, that the entire board needs to hear, what it is and the intricacies of it. I have one question, Mark, if I may, is that the differential of the income and the expenses downsizing our income and profit things. Was some of that due to another differential change in accounting methods?
The major change was because the new mortality, they changed the mortality table used for our pension fund from a private enterprise, considering us private employees, to municipal employees. When that happened, they're saying the life expectancy is increased. And due to that, that's going to increase your liability on the pension, which increased our expenses by about $693,000 on the pension side. So that was the major change through the audit. And that took probably 2 or 3 weeks to work through that process of getting the new mortality table, agreeing on the table, and then having all the numbers rerun based on the population pool. And then once you get that, then implementing that into your financial statement and then changing the appropriate accounts.
So when you go into the first of the year and open your books and you start recording, all of a sudden it seems to become a moving target towards the end when, you know, if they come up with new regulations or changing the accounting methods, et cetera, had to be dead on at that point, would you say?
Yeah. And then, you know, and some of the issues that GASB almost, I think it was May 8th, said originally that, I forgot which GASB numbers they were, we're going to apply for 2019. And then because of COVID and the delays, they said they're going to push that out a year as well. And some of the new guidance. And all the GASBs that are applicable to the audit for this year are listed in the audit as well for any accounting principle changes.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that, but I wanted to address that before. I wanted to talk about 2019 before we talk about 2021. Okay. For the budget policy, attached in your packet is the staff summary and the outline of the budget policy. We talked with the Port Council last month regarding this and implemented the major change that was amended about making sure we talk about COVID-19 and keeping flexibility while preparing the budget for next year. So saying that we're going to continuously monitor the impacts of COVID-19, and any calculation we're used on the revenue side or the operating expense side will be adjusted accordingly. Operating revenues, previously in the past we used the latest 12 months of operating revenues, but as we can see some of the fluctuations we've had April, May, and part of June, whether or not that's a realistic use for next year. So we're going to base the numbers from March 2020 as a starting point, March 2019 to February 2020 as a starting point, and then adjust those revenue numbers and traffic numbers based on changes with COVID-19. Okay. Operating expenses, that's going to be based on the when the approved operating schedule gets approved at next month's meeting. Pending, we'll be adjusting the operating expenses off of the combination of the operating budget as well as the maintenance and repair schedule. We'll continuously work with the maintenance department, make sure they get the support they need to appropriately maintain in order the safe operations of the vessels and the terminals and the facilities. Level of employments as a baseline, we're going to look at the levels that were approved in the 2020 budget originally. These include most of the recommendations in the HMS report, and we'll use that as a baseline. And again, we'll adjust those accordingly based on developments to the operating schedule and COVID-19. Training, we're going to continuously train our employees. We're going to be adding in new things like that are associated with the quality safety management system that was in the HMS report. But additionally, we're going to be using the STCW, new hire orientation, customer service training, add additional environmental and health safety training with our new health and safety person, Angela. In addition, we're going to be using our learning management system that was part of the HMS recommendations, as well as looking at ways we can minimize some of the costs associated. Still do the training, but is there a more efficient way to do it? Leveraging the MIS technology, we're going to look to be more present in social media platforms, as well as looking at ways that we can improve the website, go to more of a mobile dedicated web application to improve the customer experience, as well as look at ways of reducing costs. Healthcare costs for next year, we're going to continue to have the employee contributions of 20%. Vessel fuel oil, right now we are hedged for the first 9 months of next year. Oil has traded recently as low as negative $37 to $47. Right now, the range of price per barrel is $35 to $40. At the same time last year, was trading between $60 and $65 per barrel. Utilities, we're going to continue to see conservation efforts, what we can do to minimize our costs. But additionally, this year, we're going to look at pursuing opportunities to develop an RFP for solar canopies on our projects, such as the parking lots on our properties. Advertising, we're going to continue to reevaluate our advertising program and deem what's appropriate on a year-by-year basis. And in general, we've been shifting our focus more towards the digital marketing as compared to the paper marketing. And I would be happy to take, excuse me, so the original first draft we're expecting to propose at the September Port Council and board meetings, and then looking for final approval in the October Port Council and board meetings. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay.
Where are we with insurance? So June, I think, is when we start up with our insurance renewals, and are they going to be going up dramatically? Do we have any information about that?
We are currently working with them, and Terrence is the lead person on that, and I'll,
July 1st is when the policies go into effect.
July 1st.
Yeah, Kate, we've been working with Rogers Gray, our insurance broker, as well as on the terrestrial aspects of our insurance, and then International Specialty Risk does our marine program. Actually, I have calls with them later this week with regards to where we stand for the renewals. It's been quite of a task actually lately to gather all the information and filter it through. So I would think that by the end of next week, I should have a better idea as to where we're going to stand. We do have a meeting set before we renew. We haven't set a date yet, but it's going to happen obviously within the next 2 weeks because it's almost July 1st. So that's where we stand right now.
I was reading the other day about pandemic insurance. Is that something that's come up in your conversations?
In fact, no, it hasn't. It hasn't come up yet, but I'll raise it with them. I actually have a call with our broker this afternoon at about 3:30, so I can raise that with them.
I'll send you the article I was looking at.
I'd appreciate that. Anything else?
Not on insurance. I have a question about the advertising and the tech.
That would be Bob.
I think that the info tech and the advertising are interesting categories here. The info tech, after the virus hit and a lot of people were starting to work from home and branching out and running business in a different way, that I think that we need to be very, try to be as on top of that as possible. And so I really think that's important. And then the advertising sort of ties into it a little bit. So can we get some sense of what our focus on and purpose of advertising is? Does advertising are we trying to educate people so that they know that they have to wear masks or park here? Or is it ride steamship authority boat instead of one of the other transportation options? What's our focus for our advertising?
Sure. Hi, I'm not typing my own words now, so I'm on the hot seat. But most of our advertising focus each year has been focused on our high-speed service. Traditionally, that's where we put the bulk of our money, and then especially on the $50 round trip, same-day tickets that we offer Monday through Thursday? Yep. Monday through Thursday. So that's usually where we spend most of our limited advertising budget. I will call it limited. Some others may not agree with me. I could always use more money. But and then the rest of it is aimed at mostly the day trippers, the passenger market, because that's where we have capacity to grow in terms of bringing people over. So it's more advertising the service. Traditionally has been advertising the service, and with sort of a tagline of the way to go, lowest fares to the islands, trying to capture most of that passenger market, especially in the high-speed route. Now, recently with COVID, we've put out a lot of information, obviously, about masks and our policies and procedures, and we've done most of that through social media and tried to do that organically with an eye towards reducing spending. And what little advertising we end up doing this year probably will be along the lines of, you know, when it's safe to travel, we're here for you, would be sort of the message we'd be putting out. Because regulations have been changing so quickly, I've been very hesitant, and Kimberly McHugh, Director of Marketing, and I have had discussions about this, that we hate to put something out and then have it change on us and have to redo all the creative. So we've tried to keep that very, very general this year. And it's mostly been organically through our own social media channels. We've done very little on the paid side just because of expenses this year. And next year, I mean, I will be asking for probably the same amount that we're budgeted for this year, and we would be roughly in the same direction. But obviously with COVID, everybody's looking at their programs and deciding how they might best adapt to that. And you know, we don't know what the appetite's going to be for travel this year, to say nothing of next year. So it will definitely be a measured approach as far as what the message is that we put out and sort of the channels that we use for that.
And do you anticipate we're going to be able to have e-ticketing and that type of thing so that someone can use their smartphone and make the arrangements and then just continue on like you're going on JetBlue or something?
I'll jump in there. So yes, we have the e-ferry program, which will be rolling out here for the high-speed service. We do have a mobile app that we're not an app, but a mobile means for people to get a traditional ticket. The idea being with the COVID, we want to eliminate as many touch points as possible. We did submit to the Bonneville County Transportation Improvement Plan a proposal to develop a mobile app as well as a redevelopment of the website. Those were open for public comment for the 30 days, which has since expired. We're not aware of any objections to that. There is some grant money that we have available that will fund those projects, so we'll be working on getting that going as well, to try to, you know, the idea being is that you know, be able to give a mobile app as a means to be able to, for people to manage their travel, but also for us to be able to push out notifications to them and schedule changes and the like. So we'll be looking to develop that program here in the not too distant future. So a little different than right now. We don't have a mobile app. It's a mobile website is what we currently have now, and it's really limited to the high speed.
If anybody else have anything on this? If I could just follow up with Catherine's point, I think, Sean, as you look at this, and I discussed this briefly with Bob last week in Falmouth, our website looks like a booking reservation site and seems to act like this. And as you look at the website, in terms of making information available to passengers to Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket who are going as passengers, making that user-friendly would be, I think, a big help for the authority as well as for the people who use us for passenger service. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we start that redevelopment, you know, we're going to blow it up and start over again. So figuratively. Okay, no dynamite will be involved.
Idea.
Just wanted to clarify. You want to go ahead now?
And what we can do is we can send a version of the what the e-tickets are going to look like to each of the members, so you can download them on your smartphone and see when the development and what the process is going to look like. And I believe next week we're going to be rolling out Apple Pay and Google Pay at the terminal locations as well as a contactless form of payment.
Okay.
Want to vote? We'd be looking for a vote on the budget policy statement.
Okay. Is there any questions, or do the members wish to have a vote and make a motion?
I have no questions. I'll make a motion to accept these and adopt these as printed and presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second
No
it.
second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Rob. Any further discussion on this? We have a motion made and seconded to adopt the policies as presented, recommended by the Port Council. Comes to a roll call vote. All in favor?
Wilson, I.
Jones, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Randy, aye.
Malkin, aye. Motion's been carried unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could I point out one thing? That we want to tailor our strategic planning, and we're talking, 4 or 5 years in the future here, and we're still, we do want to be able to have this sort of flexible enough that we can respond to changes as they may develop over the next few years.
Yes.
Perhaps stating the obvious.
I think one of the challenges we're going to have when we're preparing a budget is making sure that we're adaptive enough to be able to address, developments in terms of the pandemic, and try to dust off the crystal ball in terms of what may happen for 2021.
And I'm sure we'll be talking about forecasting models and making sure the appropriateness of it for the drafts are presented.
Okay, let's keep going.
So next item would be is under procurement. So would be looking for the members to approve a settlement agreement with Senesco Marine LLC to authorize the general manager to execute settlement agreement with Senesco Marine LLC for the purposes of resolving the parties' dispute arising out of the contract entitled for the overhaul and dry dock of the MV Katama, contract number 2020. And I guess then we'll have a follow-up. I guess the staff recommends that the members vote to authorize the general manager to take all necessary and appropriate actions to deliver all purchased material, parts, and equipment from Senesco to the contract's next and only eligible bidder. So I think it needs to be 2 votes.
Okay. So vote A is to accept the agreement, and vote B is to deliver the equipment, the materials.
Yeah, well, once we do the first one, then I'll bring up what to say.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion to deal with Part A, to approve the recommendation of the staff?
So moved.
I would say, go ahead, Kate.
Yes, I move that we accept that.
I second it.
Any discussion by members of this?
No, I'd just like to say that, I'm really delighted with the resolve that has come with this. And the people involved on both sides of the fence obviously know, the right actions to take, and took it. So I think we're all better for it, and I would look forward to dealing with Senesco again if the time came. So that would be my comment.
I'd agree with you. Given the discussions that we had prior, I think this is a very good resolution of this situation. So now it comes to a vote. All in favor, roll call, please.
Wilson, I.
Jones, aye.
Tierney, aye.
Randy, aye.
And Malkin, aye. That's Part A. Part B?
So Part B would be to recommend that the members vote to authorize the general manager to take all necessary and appropriate actions to deliver all the purchased materials, parts, and equipment from Senesco to the contract's next and only other eligible and responsible bidder, Thames Shipyard and Repair Company of New London, Connecticut, for work in the work with Thames on lowering its contract price, as the authority will now be providing owner-supplied equipment in lieu of them purchasing materials and parts themselves.
Okay, that's a big motion, but is that a motion? Do I have someone to make a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Maura. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Excuse me?
Bob Jones, are you still
Okay.
there?
I was asking for further discussion on this motion. I don't think I heard discussion. I think I heard Mr. Jones. There he is.
Okay.
Bob, did you have anything further to say on this?
No, I think it's, reasonable to buy, the materials back and reuse them again where we could. And the monies that, a very small portion of those monies was used, for some of the bidding costs and things of that nature that they incurred while they're going about the project. And I think it's a very fair offer, to buy it out.
Okay, thank you. It comes to a vote. It'll be a voice vote. All in favor of that motion, please?
Wilson, I.
I think you have to do roll call. Tierney, aye.
Jones, aye.
Randy, aye.
Malkin, aye. Thank you all. That's also passed unanimously.
Okay. So
Thank you, staff, for the resolution of this issue.
Okay, so one more thing, that since the settlement agreement has been approved, we'll be adding that to the meeting package that we have on our website.
Thank you. Anything further?
That takes care of it for me.
My diligent book has now just shut itself down. I don't see anything on it. Do any of the other members have anything that they wish to add or comment on to this meeting as we approach 2 hours? Okay. Are there members of the public who wish to address the meeting?
Checking, hold on. We got one.
Let me guess.
Yeah, you were correct.
Hello. Good afternoon. I have one question for Mr. Munson, if I may, and two questions for either Mr. Davis or Mr. Rosen, if Mr. Munson is available.
It's Admonson.
Admonson, excuse me.
Thank you.
Previously in the meeting, you folks mentioned a generator failure on the MV Gayhead. Can you tell me if the vessel was underway when that failure occurred and the circumstances under which it occurred?
Yeah, there was a diode that failed on the electrical alternator side. And if this was reportable to the U.S. Coast Guard, it was an 835 was subsequently issued. And that's when we decided to take the vessel out of service and got a permission to proceed to Fairhaven for repairs.
Was that a secondary generator?
There's 2 generators on board the vessel. In this field, we're required to have 2 operating generators all the time.
Understood. Thank you very much. For Mr. Davis or Mr. Rosen, given the sort of slow burning fiscal crisis the Steamship Authority appears to be in, has management considered hiring some sort of crisis team, an independent contractor, maybe similar to the folks who mustered the HMS report to help manage the deficits that still seem to be extant?
So, no, I think we have a capable members of the staff. We've been working at a reopening committee, of staff members to look at ways that we can make sure that we're providing the services that we need to do, but also keeping people as safe as possible.
Okay. With all due respect, sir, do you recall the part of the HMS report that spoke to hero culture?
Yes, I do.
Is it possible that's in play here, sir?
I think under the circumstance with the financial conditions that we have suspended other projects in terms of this. So, in terms of going through a process to bring someone else in to address concerns would be problematic. So,
I get it.
Hypothetically, even if it cost $1 million, if you are projecting, and I'm not saying that it would, I don't know what it would cost. If you're projecting tens of millions of dollars in losses potentially, it might be worth the money.
Yeah, I'm not sure how spending an additional $1 million would help the situation, but.
Understood. Well, I don't know that it would be that sum. And last but not least, sir, have you spoken to any of the 6 town administrators concerning the potential for an assessment at the end of the fiscal year this year on the vineyard?
No, I think Mr. Malcolm has talked with the county commissioners, and I believe Mr. Huss and Mr. Balco have both talked to their communities as well. So,
is that something you might plan to do?
As we go along and get a better assessment as to what that possibly may be, but again, we continue to have productive conversations with the state regarding it as well.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Bob, may I?
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah.
In conjunction with Mr. Salzberg's question, is there not also some federal discussions going on as well?
Yes, there are. We've been trying to work with the state's delegation down in Washington, Congressman Keating and Senator Markey and Warren as well, regarding efforts on that part. So,
great, thanks.
What else? That appears to be the only questions. He's muted.
Thank you, Sean. You've done a great job of muting me all the time. I appreciate it. Is there any other members have any questions or anything they wish to bring before this meeting? If not, I'd like to thank the staff and thank the members for the meeting. And I hope this was informative, and it certainly was productive. And I would declare this meeting adjourned.
You need a motion.
Oh,
I'll make
okay,
a
then
motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Is
No,
there a
I don't
second?
want to adjourn. Second.
Thank you. Okay, anything further? Any discussion? Comes to a vote to adjourn.
Wilson, aye.
Jones, aye.
Randy, aye.
And Malcolm and I, thank you everyone for their time, and thank you to the staff. I think this is a positive moving month, so it's in the right direction. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.